We call it the Cane Hall Generation Expansion Project because it falls under our generation capacity expansion budget, but really it is to replace aging generators. It's to replace 2 generators that would have been over 30 years old, that would have given us very good service at an average of over 130 hours over a 30-year period. They have done their useful life, so it was necessary to replace them with 2 new generators. When we do our generation capacity planning, we try to maintain enough generation capacity to meet a reliability criteria. We would accommodate maintenance of a major generator, unexpected failure of another generator, so we need to have enough capacity in place to do that. And having these 2 generators in place would return us to a level where we would be more comfortable moving forward. Also, it would help us with our maintenance costs because they would be more efficient generators and they would be cheaper to maintain and operate than the previous generators that would be replaced. And it will give us the foundation to grow into the future because the expected lifespan is another 25 to 30 years, and set a solid foundation for us to maintain our capacity and grow our capacity in the future. We entered into a competitive bidding process and we selected generators from diesel supplier Wärtsilä. They had supplied engines for generators for us before, so the total budget will be, for the project, is $17.5 to $18 million based on the extent of preparatory work that we have to do. Because we are going to try to reuse some of the components of the previous generators, for example, the exhaust stack, which are newer than the generators. But if there is any additional work that is required there, we need to have some flexibility. The contract with Wärtsilä is for $6.2 million US, and the overall budget that we have is $17.5 to $18 million EC dollars. And the financing is provided locally by local financing agency plus resources.
The actual contract was signed in October 2020, official start date November 5th, 2020, and the actual completion date is October 2021. In terms of what has happened so far, well, for the first couple of months, what they call the preliminary and the detailed engineering of the project was done by the manufacturer, Wärtsilä, in consultation with Vilnic in terms of obtaining the information. As it stands now, the project is at the phase where the civil works are being done. There are 3 different. One is the engine foundation, which is being rebuilt. Secondly, we are also doing what is called work on the auxiliary annex, the floor and the roof. We have decided to demolish and recast a new roof. And thirdly, there are some civil works taking place on the outside of the building, specifically in relation to building the foundation for the radiators, the pipe supports and the air filter supports. That's the civil work. So far we have had the arrival of our 13 containers of auxiliary equipment on the ground. The generators themselves have been shipped from Finland. The original expected date was later in July 20th, but we were told that it's now about the 5th of August. The generators will arrive. The electrical mechanical work should begin very, very soon when the civil works are completed. Even before the generators arrive, Wärtsilä has their installation schedule for the electrical and mechanical equipment, which you look at their schedule, is about 3 to 3.5 months in terms of all of the different activities. So as of next week, the radiators themselves, that'll be the first thing to be installed, and then they will take it from there in terms of all of the electrical and mechanical installation. Well, there are lots of new staff. The last generators we had installed on this particular scale was actually another Wärtsilä that was installed in the year 2000. We have had smaller generators subsequently, but on this massive scale, I think it has been a real learning experience in terms of understanding the amount of information that is required to go into the actual planning stages of the installation. And I think very soon soon when Watsila's team, the contractors that is, are here, then we will see the movement and the installation of the actual mechanical and electrical equipment.
VinLink has strict safety policies, and all contractors on VinLink sites, as an industrial site, has to uphold these policies. They are required to always wear their helmets, air protection when they're in the station, and don their reflective vests. So I assist in making sure that the contractors are familiar with the VinLink safety policies, and they regularly practice this while on site. The workers at the station are not significantly involved at this stage, because at this stage it's mostly civil engineering going on. So this is mostly just preparation for the new engines that would come. So as the project progresses, the workers here at the station would be more involved in installation of the generators, the auxiliaries, and getting familiar with their operation. I think everyone here is excited to be a part of this, because most times when you start a job here at the station, everything is already here. So the exciting part is being here, being familiar with the systems in place, and now becoming an integral part in implementing new systems and setting up these new generators. So these would become like your babies. You see them from birth and you help to nurture them as they grow.
So let me start by saying we're really excited in getting these 2 new units here at KNR Power Station, and the impact that it would have in terms of the overall availability, reliability, and efficiency of this plant. While we have quite a bit of expertise in terms of general generation, we do have to get familiar with this new type of engine. And so yes, from that aspect, our maintenance team, the mechanical section would be trained, and our electrical section would also receive some training on this new type of unit. So with respect to training, we are going to have both what we call hands-on training as well as some theoretical training. So while this plant is being installed, we would have members on the ground looking at what is being done. They would have the opportunity to also speak with the Wärtsilä personnel who is on the ground to get some information on the general systems, as well as we would have Wärtsilä giving us a classroom-based section, giving us specific details as to this engine. Yes, so in order for us to receive these generators so that they could be integrated into our system, our electrical team has a bit of work to do in terms of preparing our switchgear, our 11 kV or 11,000 volts switchgear, so that we could connect our generators to our bus, as well as to prepare the earthing that is necessary to protect these generators, and also lighting for around that area where we are installing. Just to say that we are truly excited that we're going to have 2 new units here, and we are looking forward to all the benefits that this could bring to the KNR Power Station and to the VinLink system as a whole.